We are back. Been a minute. Happy. By the time y'all see us, it'll be Valentine's Day. So it'll be Valentine's Day to those
Yeah,
that celebrate. Happy Wednesday to the rest of us that'll be out here in the
correct,
world. Have
correct.
another good day. Glad to be back. It's your boy G, along with Alec. Another good episode of 6300. A lot of good stuff going on for you guys here. Make sure you guys show love on LA Sports Report on all platforms, especially on YouTube. Subscribe to the show. A lot of good stuff coming to you guys there each week with a lot of fun content, including our show amongst others that don't want to miss. So excited to be back. Like we said, plenty to get to. As you see on the screen already, we're going to be talking about Super Bowl 58. Definitely was a fun game that just went down this last Sunday. The big game went down, and the Chiefs found a way yet again. Alec, before I get into it, just your thoughts on it all from afar, and anything you take away from this last weekend of all the stuff going on around this.
Hey, he did it again, man. He did it again. This is the best QB I've seen with my two eyes, man. I know older generations might say otherwise, and of course Brady's still the GOAT to me, but he's on that trajectory, man. He's the
He's
best
good.
QB I've ever seen. What do you say?
He's good.
Patty, he's on that GOAT trajectory, man. That's incredible performance. Obviously, it felt like it was never in doubt, to be honest. Like I was telling my family watching it, to me, it felt like watching Kobe in the fourth, like back in those
Uh-huh.
days where it was like you're comfortable even when they were down driving in the fourth, trying to tie it up, and when they're down three in overtime, driving as well. It's like I was just comfortable he's gonna make the right play every single time on third down, if it was fourth down, whatever.
Uh-huh.
um, as you would call it, cozy boys. It was that cozy feeling with him
Right.
operating under center, no matter what the situation is. So yeah, big ups to the future goat right there, and Mahomes and the Chiefs. It's a dynasty for sure. You can't dismiss it. It's a dynasty.
No denying it. They definitely were cozy. I guess there's a disappointing thing in that, and I was rooting for the Chiefs in a way, so I wasn't mad at it. But just watching as someone who my team's not really in the game,
Mm.
just wanting a good game. Like it felt like the Niners had chances to win. Like even
Yep.
from the jump, they had the 10-0 lead, and it seemed like they kept like, as soon as they kept allowing the Chiefs to stick around, and you can't
Mhm.
let the Chiefs have any opportunity to bounce back because they'll
Right.
find a way to steal that game from you. And the
Right.
Niners kept on. They had that 10-0 start, and they kept having three and outs. They kept having field goal or punts and things, and they muff punts and all kinds of stuff. You keep giving the Chiefs opportunities, they're going to take advantage of it, and they did just that. And it ended up once they missed a field goal at the end, which led to the Chiefs tying the game, and then it led to what we saw in overtime, and Pat Mahomes going down and getting the victory as he did. So I can't necessarily say never a doubt. I guess it was more so again just surprising that the Niners, who's been a team that's a dominant team all year long, there was a moment, multiple points in the season where we said it was Niners versus the field in regards to who's going to be the champion, and
Correct.
we thought that they continue to find ways to win games. Oh, they kept finding ways to lose the game on Sunday, and it was in a way sad for them to go out like that. But I will say it was funny seeing a lot of the Rams fans out here at your LA show.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
lot of Rams fans were dancing on their grave, man. It was funny to see. A lot of folks
Correct.
were loud about seeing, being happy seeing Debo cry those tears, and
Uh.
others that were sad
Yeah.
in their defeat. We obviously are celebrating the loss. Of course, we don't want to do pounce on him. Of course,
Mhm.
the reaction from the other side with a lot of Rams fans and Raider fans and the like who were saying, "Ha ha,
Yeah.
y'all talked a lot of a big game and y'all were front running and doing all this dancing and they had their tunnel videos that they do every game and all that kind of stuff." Definitely were a boisterous squad. I guess they, to your point, as we talked about some of basketball, got humbled on the biggest stage, and it is what it is. So tough for them, but salute to the Chiefs for finding a way yet again to do what they did.
Mhm. Yeah, it was funny kind of hearing how people felt before the game. Like I was in the barbershop on Friday, and there was a
Mm-hmm.
Chiefs fan in there. There was
Hey,
Raiders.
you're getting like Kelsey fade.
Yeah, I said, give me that Travis Kelsey. Like, nigga, what? No, but yes, I was getting that fade. But there was a Chiefs fan in there cutting there. There was a Raiders fan, and the Raiders fan was like, I don't want to see the Chiefs win, though. Like it's funny, like it was like nobody wanted either team to win, kind of thing.
Yeah,
But it
yeah.
was like kind of the lesser of two evils that people were picking. Um, but yeah, I mean, definitely Rams fans were very loud about their pleasure in seeing the 49ers lose, and I understand with that rivalry. We'll get to them in a minute too. Just looking forward to next year, but
Yeah.
it was a tough loss, as you said. At points, it felt like the Niners had it within their grasp and just didn't keep their foot on the gas enough to extend the lead enough to keep the Chiefs at bay. And Kyle Shanahan is now on Doc Rivers' watch, man. Like he's now blown 3 leads in the Super Bowl and hasn't been able to capture one. So I know there's got to be some antsiness on that side too with not being able to close the deal
Right.
there for the 49ers. But it was a valiant effort. I guess on the positive, I thought Brock Purdy played well. I
I
thought
was going to ask you what you thought about him. Yep.
yeah, like I thought he had a good game. Like the numbers don't scream like sensational performance, but I thought he didn't do anything to hurt the team. Like either I thought he put the ball in playmakers' hands.
Mhm.
He didn't turn the ball over. He had a couple really nice throws, especially like in the first half to
Yep.
Conley and Ayuk and Juwan Jennings was trending on going for the MVP if they won the
Yeah, he
game.
almost
Honestly,
stole it. Yeah, fact.
yeah. So I thought Brock actually played pretty well. He just
I will say,
he didn't make a couple plays when they like had to have them though,
yeah,
late. So you
that,
could kind of criticize him there, but
that is it. On a serious note, on the other side, I put a parlay down for the first time in months, and all I needed him to do was get me 13 and a half rushing yards. And he
yeah,
had 14 at one point, and then took a
yeah,
kneel down to end the game
yeah.
regular time, and that sent it down to 12, and I lost the bet. So, bro, just run. You were running all the last 2 games, and to your point about making plays at the end, going
Uh-huh.
back to some of the serious point, he could have used his legs a little bit more to potentially hold on to the ball a little bit longer to save some possessions and not allow Mahomes to have so much time and to end the game, end the regular time as well as
Mhm.
overtime and things. But just manipulating that defense because the defense started to figure things out. Trent McDuffie, who was the corner over there, was having his way at times when he was targeted. Amongst others,
Mhm.
finding different ways to attack the defense and use his legs more. I thought beyond my bet, I think could have been utilized more to really
Yeah,
help that team get over the hump. And yeah, it was sad that they fell short because like I said, he anyway won me over as well. I stopped hating on him as hard. I appreciate what he has done. He's a Super Bowl level quarterback, and
mhm,
yeah, just with the pieces around him,
yeah.
they all didn't put together the game needed to get the job done. It is what it is, but he definitely is a respectable guy there for sure.
Yeah, I think I would say, and I guess I'd ask you this, but I personally would say that I think he is good enough. Like you said, he's a Super Bowl level quarterback. I think he's good enough for them to have won the Super Bowl. Like they were in this game. I think they just ran into a better opponent and a more seasoned team that's like been here before, and a Patrick Mahomes that's calm, cool, and collected in
Um,
every situation. But like I think this is a team with Brock Purdy that is good enough to win the Super Bowl.
right.
Still, yeah,
I guess the question is because, for example, last year we saw a similar thing with the Eagles, who seemed like they were a stacked
mhm,
team. They ran to the Chiefs.
yeah,
Hurts was viewed as an MVP level quarterback and all this kind of stuff. And then we saw the year after, once they kind of got figured out, once some adjustments are being made, pieces left to the building and things got switched around. Defensively, at least some of the offense stay the same, but defensively they lost some pieces that no longer was the same team. So now going forward, we all gave Brock Purdy this praise, and he's won people over who had their doubts all season long. Now next year, now the formula is kind of written on this squad, we have a whole offseason now to study this team and figure out what's what. Pieces might move. There's rumors of Ayuk being moved around and things of
yeah,
that nature for
yeah.
contract reasons and et cetera.
Mhm.
Once that now comes into place, then it's gonna be okay. We now have a year where you can't catch us by surprise. Are you still good
Oh,
enough to be the guy that people said you were, or
mhm.
are you gonna come back to reality potentially to what folks believed you were from the jump? So definitely all praise for this year. When folks talk about this season, I fully acknowledge that he is that guy. Like I said, but of course, gonna be looking forward to see how he continues to stay on that level from here. But yeah, if they keep surrounding him with the talent, yeah, he definitely can get this team back here for a what would it be, a fifth or third time in 5 years? Not his
Yeah,
individual Niners
right.
as a team would be their third time if they
Yeah.
got back in like 5 years. So yeah, we'll see what they can do about that. And yeah, it just is what it is for them right now.
Question for you, just like the Chiefs in that same scenario when they're like down 3 and need that drive to tie it up, and then down in overtime need that drive to win.
Mhm.
How many quarterbacks, if you replace Mahomes with another quarterback, like how many quarterbacks do you think actually complete the job and win that game?
Currently,
Yeah, currently. I was just thinking off the top of my head, like I could maybe see Joe in the same scenario, but like as my confidence is the utmost with Mahomes, obviously.
yeah.
Like Josh Allen, I'd have a little bit of concern too, just because he can get loose with it at times. Um, Lamar just in the
Ironically,
playoffs sometimes.
ironically, those guys can do that against teams that aren't the Chiefs. Like we've seen Lamar make drives versus the Browns and other teams like that. We've
Mhm,
seen Josh Allen make drives to win games versus I'm blanking on other teams, but he's made some game winning drives, of course. And we've
mhm.
seen Joe Burrow. I mean, he's done it versus the Chiefs to your point,
Yeah,
with
he's
the
on the Chiefs too.
playoffs
Yeah.
a year. Also, he might be not the sole one, but he's top of the list potentially, as you're
Mhm.
saying. But we've seen now the Ravens go against the Chiefs, and the Ravens can't make the play to end the game. We've
Yeah.
seen the Bills go now be in the situation that you're talking about with the
Mhm.
chances to win the game and force a turnover or whatever the case is. So as much as you want to say there are other guys on that list, we've seen other guys in that scenario versus the Chiefs, and they haven't got the job done. So
Mhm.
it's a short list. Technically, to that standard, I guess it would just be Joe. But yeah, I would. I can't. I would still. I guess in that right below tier, put the Allens and Lamars and all of that, of course, too. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's rare air for sure for Pat right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's that's what I'm saying. Like, not trying to come off like glazing or whatever the kids
No,
like to say these days, but I
it's
mean,
honest though. It's the truth
he's
right now.
honestly like he's really special, and I think sometimes it gets like understated just because people hate greatness. Like, there's been a lot of kind of nasty like reactions I've seen like to them winning the Super Bowl, and I think it was like kind of gonna be like nasty either way. Like myself watching, like I was like rooting for Brock to do well just because of how people hate on him. But I
Right.
was also kind of like rooting for because I didn't really have a dog in the fight either way. I was also kind of
Yeah.
rooting for the Chiefs too.
Yeah.
Because I think he is a future GOAT. Like I think he is that good. I don't think he's gets overpraised or anything like that.
Mhm.
So it kind of like played out perfectly, I guess, in a sense to where like Brock had a good enough game to where like you kind of had to respect what he did. And
Right.
Mahomes like cemented himself as, yeah, I'm still like I'm on Brady's heels, essentially.
Right.
So yeah, it was a great game.
Yeah, definitely a great game. Definitely appreciate what they did. I guess what just also continues to impress me is, and there are a few things on my mind, which is why I'm going back and forth right now. But
Yeah,
just the first thing is to your point about Mahomes, as much as he is going up against Brady, and that's kind of the media narrative,
sure.
like he just truly is. We keep talking about in the NBA wanting to see guys who have more of that killer mentality, or for LA folks want to see more of the Mamba mentality and all
Yeah,
kinds of stuff. Like he
yeah,
truly, when it's time to get a win and figure out a way, like he
yeah,
does not like losing, and he will
yeah.
figure out a way, some which way, as well as so will. I know there's a lot of folks that just see him for the media stuff, but so will Kelsey.
I was about
They'll
to bring
figure
that
out
up when you were
whatever
saying
way
that.
it
Yeah,
is to get the job done in the end and execute. So while there are a lot of folks kind of confused, and there's a whole new world of Swiftie fans like, why is Kelsey Young as coach? The guy only had, I think, one catch for a couple of yards in the
at that
first half at
point,
that
yeah,
point. And he was
yeah,
like, yo, get me the ball. What are we doing? We also saw Rashee Rice even get mad at Mahomes because there was a moment where he didn't get the ball going across the middle, but he
yeah,
didn't realize that Mahomes got a bad snap and couldn't see him.
yeah.
The
Which there was a
ball.
lot of bad snaps, honestly,
Yeah.
to Mahomes
So
that game too. Yeah.
just Mahomes at the top
Mhm.
has a mentality of doing whatever it takes to get the job done, being poised in the moments to make sure you get to play and execute as well as possible, and it echoes across the whole team, and they all have that drive to want to make sure at the end of the day they're the ones holding that Lombardi. So
Mhm.
yeah, just the poise of this squad in the midst of all adversity. As we
Mhm.
said, all for part of the season, like I for a moment I swayed off of it, like as we talked about in our ranking and stuff. I can't knock the Chiefs down
Yeah,
until I see them have a big fall off. Then we thought we saw it, and I kind of backed off. But then
yeah.
they proved it again that they're back up
Like I
top.
said, I said they wouldn't get back. I said they wouldn't get
Right.
back to the Super
So
Bowl. Yeah,
they ended up anytime you throw any kind of they can't do this, they go out and check that box. So
right.
I don't know what else is on the list. The only thing next is they can't three-peat because we haven't seen nobody three-peat
Yeah,
potentially. and they can go and check that box because this is a down year for them. So if they go and add any good receivers, it's like, all right, and they're right back to it.
Hey, you're a Ravens fan, so you can't say it, but I want to see them do it. Honestly, like break history. Why not?
I'm a Ravens fan, but I'm also a football fan, and that I appreciate what's going on. As I've said, they won me over. So yes, if the Ravens get there, I'll be all praised. I'll be cheering loud and happy. But if we don't, and they end up getting there, as I was this year, I'm not going to be mad about it. I'll look at the Ravens and want to figure it out, but I also appreciate what's going on with Mahomes, realizing that we're in the middle of a truly all-time great run with him leading the way in Kansas City. So yeah, just salute to what he's doing, and definitely appreciate the mentality that he continues to carry across that squad. So yeah, it's fun to watch, for real.
Like I said, I kind of facetiously said that it was never in doubt in this game, but it was clearly in doubt that they were even going to make it to the Super Bowl and that they were going to make it through these playoffs, just with how poor the offense looked at times, especially in the regular season. How they led the league in drops. Like Mahomes' receiving core was one of the worst in the league. After Kelsey, and then finally when Rashee Rice kind of came on second half of the season, he had a little bit more help, but they had guys lose them games because of drops.
They were playing any way to sit Darius Toney at the end of the season. They're like, hey, he's a stomach flu. He's like, I'm not sick. He's like, hey, yes, you are. Somewhere. You are not playing this game.
Funny enough, it was guys like, people said, like, if they get guys to make catches, like, they can still win these games. Like, they had MVS make the big catch against the Ravens. McCole Hardman, who had the 2 fumbles in the other playoff game, gets the game-winning touchdown. So the guys stepped up when they needed them to. Mahomes is going to be Mahomes, of course. Kelsey's going to be Kelsey. Spagnuolo in the defense, we have to credit too. I mentioned that Brock Purdy didn't make the plays when they really needed them late in the fourth. Like converting that third down late in the fourth would have been huge for them sealing the game. And Spags brought the house in terms of brought the blitz.
That reminded me, actually. That's something that I almost forgot. To that point, just in the sense of, for one, in that moment, it was a chess move. And we saw how McDuffie had kind of faked that he was going to be in coverage and took a couple steps back to throw off Purdy when he had eyes on him. And when Purdy looked away, he sent the blitz, and that's what threw off the pass that would have converted that. I take that to say the chess match of that game really had me intrigued the whole way through. And there were a lot of folks early on. There were a lot of folks early on. They were like, "Oh, this game was so boring. This is a mid."
It was going that way early.
Bro, I'm like, yo, do y'all not see how these guys are like trying to like figure this out right now? And once it gets figured out, it will click, and it became the game that we saw. So there was no thought in my mind that it's going to be this boring game all the way long. It seemed like it was a game that they were really trying to figure things out. We had 2 teams who both were maybe not statistically, I don't remember the stat rank wise, but they were the best offenses and the best defenses we've seen, echelon teams that we've seen, at least in the playoffs for sure, trying to figure out how to get ahead of one another. And just that war that was going on in the first half. There were a lot of folks that were like, "Bro, is this what the Super Bowl is? Is this boring? Is this gonna be Rams Pats again?" I was like, "Bro, y'all just chill out. It's all gonna work itself out." And it opened up, and there have been folks that were saying this is the best Super Bowl of all time, or I've seen on my
once it turned into there's one of the few like overtime games, right, in the Super Bowl.
Exactly. So there was never a doubt in my mind, but for those that were hesitant at first. Yeah, just wait. There's no boring game with Mahomes. I'll tell you that for a fact.
This is true. This is true.
In the second half. So yeah, just that moment. I remember you were talking like, "Oh, the Rams Pats is good."
I was worried, dude. I was worried, especially with the play calling from the Chiefs early. Because like the first couple possessions, it was like handoff, screen pass, 3 and out from the Chiefs. I'm like, all right, I guess they're kind of feeling things out, but I expect a little bit more from like Patrick Mahomes led offense, to like open things up. But like I get you in terms of that there's a chess match like going on like in the trenches and that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean it was like 3-0 like almost midway through the second quarter. I was like, come on, bro. Like I don't want Patriots Rams again.
And then like right afterwards, it was like trick play touchdown,
trick play, double pass.
And then the floodgates just opened up. So I was like, yo, everybody just breathe. It's gonna be a good time for sure. So don't rush to call a game what it is in the first half. Let the whole thing play. Trust it, it'll find a way to be entertaining for sure, especially on that stage. So just thoroughly enjoy what we all went down on Sunday. Excited for next season already. I guess still on the high a bit from this last game, being the OT throw that it was, and yeah, looking forward to all in the way with that. Before we go to the LA stuff related to it, anything else Super Bowl wise in regards to the game first you want to get to?
Oh, I was gonna mention the halftime show because we didn't talk about that.
Please let's get to that.
What did you what did you think? Because you were ready. You were fully torqued, ready for that Usher performance. So how did you feel about it?
The Usher halftime show was fantastic to me, but this moment right here,
yeah,
yeah, I would have been like, "There's that meme recently. Where is it at? Where is it at?"
There's got to be a Drewski skit for this.
Eyes, I would have been, "Oh, I can't look at this. It's over."
Oh man.
No way. No,
hey, as long as Swizz ain't mad, I ain't concerned about it. But Swizz a better man than me for sure.
You gotta say face because just a couple months ago, Usher had that moment with Kiki that had everybody in uproar. So he had to be like, I respect it, and he's just acting, and no worry, guys. But I'm sure he's at home just
at home with the kids. Like, what are you doing?
Oh my god! But no, they put on a real show. Definitely one of the better. One of the better halftime shows. Again, I don't know if we give him full praise for it, but if this is the role Jay-Z's playing in the halftime stuff,
no, we're not giving Jay-Z that.
All right, then no, fine. I'll say then that's fine with me. But yeah, for what he did. I'm all positive. Something that's on my mind, I must admit.
Okay.
Let me see if I can find the right way to say it. I was talking with something about this earlier. It, in an odd way, almost felt like Usher never fully had the sole spotlight during the halftime show. Like even leading into it, a lot of the photo shoots and things were him paired with some random model or him with the concern about a bunch of kids and him doing all this kind of other stuff with other people. Where yes, he's the main focus. We see that as Usher, but like they were never just it was never just him. Like, yo, this is Usher. We're gonna celebrate him for his moment. And then get to the halftime show, and again, it's fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed it and all of that. But there were like 35 guests. There were a million dancers. I'm like, yo, can we just highlight Usher real quick? Not even on no weird glazing, but just like this is Usher. This is supposed to be his moment. But like every time we saw him, he was next to somebody else or doing something with a billion people around him. I was like, yo, they never felt like it was the spotlight fully was his. He's still in that, found his way to shine as best as he did. And again, it was a performance, but just from afar, I don't know. Something just didn't quite, it seemed off to me. But I don't want to make it into a negative thing because he still did a fantastic job. But I don't know. As I saw stuff constantly on my timelines, it just, that thought came to mind often. And
you were in your,
we'll see what folks have to say about that.
You were in your LeBron A&R bag watching it. Like, how can we have highlighted Usher a little bit better?
If that's what you want to say, so be it. But that was just something that came to mind. I saw on the folks continue to pop up. But
I was gonna say,
I thoroughly enjoy y'all.
Yeah, I saw a clip of Lil Wayne talking to Taylor Rooks, and she was asking him about like how much it would mean to him for him to do the halftime show. And he said in his response that I apologize to everyone, but if I do the halftime show, it's just gonna be me. Like I'm not inviting anybody else on stage. So like that's to your point. That's to your point. That's what I'm saying. But which obviously like he would be the guy to bring out a bunch of guests because there's so many people that can come with him. But I understand.
Having these two pop up would be fantastic. I don't know if I can show this picture with how Nicki's looking, so I'm gonna go back to this one. But yeah, either way, to his point, it just seemed like there was a lot of extraness around him. But even still, he found a way to shine through it. So salute to him. And
if got to take his shirt off and sweat in front of the ladies, so he got his time to shine a little bit.
Yeah, time. That's true. So thoroughly enjoyed it. Did definitely a great time. If Lil Wayne is next, I think he also
it's in New Orleans. So that's part of why.
Even beyond that, it seemed like he's done not a flip, but he still stayed in the media's good graces. Like it seemed like he's always doing
beyond the Trump stuff. Yeah,
beyond the Trump stuff, but he's always doing random TV shows and he's trying to have at least somewhat of that Snoop Dogg arc where he's just now the figure that's in everybody's faces, and just it could I can see them being accepting of him being the guy for New Orleans to do that. So
yeah,
they
he's enough of a
choose him
legend
great.
for that for sure.
Though we didn't want to give him credit like that, but if with Jay-Z in control potentially, I'm sure he he'll pitch that idea, and yeah, we'll see about it. But yeah, definitely a good sign. And is there any way that as much as we want to see Lil Wayne get that instead they choose Taylor instead?
Absolutely. I don't know if it'll be next year, but she's absolutely going to be doing one of these Super Bowls, especially if she ends up marrying Kelsey and she's still connected to the NFL like that. Like she's definitely doing one of these performances, and it just makes sense. Like she's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, artists in the country. So, like, I'm not going to be mad at it. Like,
it would be hilarious. Next year's in New Orleans, and the year after that is in Santa Clara, where the Niners play. It would be hilarious having Taylor Swift perform in front of in Santa Clara. The Niners will be pissed. So yeah, I'll pitch for that for sure. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, she has won America over, and a lot of folks, again, like to our point earlier about the Niners, there are a lot more folks mad about the Niners than they were about the Chiefs winning. They're happy about the Niners losing than the Chiefs winning. Yes, there were a lot of the rigged stuff or whatever, but I didn't realize that the Niners had so much hate going into this game. It was loud in comparison to the folks annoyed about Taylor winning the game, or not Taylor winning the game, the Chiefs winning the game. Next to
like I'll say, there is some shameless engagement farming that we see on social media with people throwing Taylor Swift on every Chiefs image, but like still the incels got to relax. Like we're gonna see some Taylor Swift coverage when the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. Like come on,
exactly. Biggest star in the world, next to the biggest athlete right now, or at least one of the biggest for sure in the NFL. We're going to see that all day long as we've been. And even though we say all day long, in total, she was only technically showed on TV for like a minute and a half. Yeah. Folks took that minute and a half and was like, oh, all day, there's Taylor again. It's like, bro, it ain't that serious. You guys will be okay. So, yeah, I'm all for this. Hope things continue to go well. Salute to her being in the booth with the Ice Spice during the game and all of that.
Yeah,
and
Ice Spice. Yeah.
Talking about engagement farming, that's just media mayhem right there. So yeah, and we'll see how things go with them going forward. I guess the funnier part to it is that there are a lot of folks that are like, hey, all you Swift fans, this is not how the NFL goes. You don't just join a team when they win in your first year. It's going to be a lot of heartbreak. You guys don't just win like this all the time. So be prepared. But they for sure struck gold and are doing their thing. So we'll see if there's more on the way for them. And we talked about a potential three-peat. It's very possible for this Chiefs squad with how they're still playing right now.
Yeah, I saw people tweeting like that Homelander tweet where it's like the sound and he's just like staring like off into space, where it's like when your team hasn't won for like decades, but Taylor Swift suddenly becomes an NFL fan and her team wins in the first year, kind of thing. Like it's gotta be rough if you're a Detroit Lions fan and haven't seen your team get it to the top.
Speaking of Homelander, what the heck was this?
Oh my god! Oh my god! Like, have some shame, man. Like, we got that whole Middle Eastern conflict with Israel and Palestine, and Sweden talking about it all according to plan or whatever they said.
Oh my god!
I never want to see meme tweets from my president. It was hilarious from Donald Trump, but it was still alarming back then too. And I do not want to see it from Biden either. Like, come on. We don't need you in the meme game.
I was like, bro, I checked like 5 times. Like, this is not a real tweet from the president right now.
The official president's account, man.
This is nuts. So yeah, it's all a mess. But again, I don't know where to go from here. I'll just go back to this. But yeah, just all a mess, but all in good fun. And yeah, looking forward to what is going to be next, going into next year and how things will continue to play out. So that is it in regards to the Super Bowl. In that regard, I want to tie things in a bit to LA. And as we get into this again, and we're 30 minutes in, so I'll give updates as we go along. For those tuned in, make sure you show love to LA Sports Report. A lot of good stuff going on there. Super Bowl 58 definitely was great, as we said. And we see two teams who, in comparison to our LA squads, are division rivals. The Chiefs are rivals of the Chargers, and we've seen them go head to head a few times. And so far, it hasn't been the rivalry that we wanted, as the Chiefs had our number. But on the flip side, the Rams have got ahead of the Niners a few times, and this time just fell short, though they had a valiant season. But seeing how things have been going, How can we see the Rams and Chargers or LA squads, I guess, usurp these conference champions that have played in the Super Bowl this last weekend, going from here?
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs still have to be the team to beat, right? I mean, we'll talk about our way too early predictions, but they still got to be the team to beat in the AFC, in the AFC West, in the league. Honestly, like they're back-to-back champs.
Right.
So it's going to be a tough task for those Chargers in the AFC West division. Obviously, you've got a quarterback who many believe and we would love to see be a top 5 guy this year with the new regime there in Harbaugh and the coaching staff there and Greg Roman and others in that new regime. There's a lot of confidence and hype coming into the season that the offense will be stellar and that the culture will be shifted, and this will be a team that can close out games and finish when they have the lead, and not be in so many close games every single game, not fall into that same script that they have in previous seasons. But I think that'll be the key, honestly, just finishing the games that are close and contentious, turning the page on what used to be the Chargers curse and whatnot, and being able to finish those close games against good opponents. That's going to be the key for them in the regular season. And if they want to be a team that's truly feared come playoff time and make a playoff run, and that's going to be the key for them. And then the Rams, I think the Rams are set up pretty nicely with how they played this past season. They got a budding star in Puka Nacua and Kyron Williams. They've still got their seasoned vets who, with the offseason and getting right, I think Kupp can still put in another good season at receiver for us. Stafford had a top 10 QB season. The defense is just going to need a little bit of upgrading. But I trust this Rams front office in terms of drafting what they've been able to do and getting guys like Puka and Kyron in the 5th round and beyond, finding those hidden gems and rebuilding this defense. I think it's going to be tough to beat probably NFC favorite in the Niners once again. But I think with some tweaks to this defense, they can be a really formidable opponent for any team in the NFC. I saw power rankings for next season that I forget if it was CBS had, but they had the Rams at 10 already as a top 10 team already. So I think there are going to be some higher expectations than we had going into this season, where they were a 5-win team potentially. So with some tweaks to that defense and some leaps coming from our young players, I think they can be a real threat in the NFC West as well.
Yeah, definitely agree with all you said there. And another way of saying it is, in my head, is just, excuse me, establish identity and maintain the identity. We've seen a couple of occasions where teams that had clear identities went up against the Niners and try to shift and try to play to the Niners and try to play to what they thought was the strength of that team or the weakness of the Niners to take advantage of it, and it led to them falling short. Meanwhile, when you play to who you are, or on the flip side, the Ravens, when they played the Niners themselves, straight to the form, ran the ball, played the game their way, and all of that, they were able to defeat the Niners as they did in grand fashion around Christmas time. But on the flip side, when they put the Chiefs and they got away from their identity, they had one that's fully established. And as a Ravens fan, I point to them as an example because of their fall off. That hurts a little bit still, as you can tell. But just when they went play the Chiefs and lost their identity and tried to play to the Chiefs and play the Chiefs game, that is what was a detriment. So for the Rams and the Chargers, I would say not necessarily don't focus on the Chiefs. Obviously, acknowledge that they're there because they're so much of a force. But just in that, still, the goal should be just become the best team that you can be possible as guys go out there to do, and maintain that and not waver even in the face of juggernauts like the Niners and Chiefs when they come your way, because they are both teams, as great as they are, and as much as we want to fully acknowledge the Chiefs dynasty, that team is beatable in ways if teams play their game the right way. We've just seen too many times that because of how imposing or how much of a presence this team has, teams often try to come in and try to change their formulas or try to change what they do, and they lose themselves, and the Chiefs take advantage of it. So if they just stay true to self and they have the pieces there that we've seen put up good fights against these squads, if they just stay true and continue to build in the right way as they continue to do so, they can make the jump even ahead of these squads that we saw in the Super Bowl this last Sunday. So yeah, continuing to establish that passing game on the Rams side, and I'm getting caught up, excuse me. But establishing the passing one on the Rams side, continuing to highlight Puka and Cup over there, getting more help for counting the backfield, adding another workhorse back there. Maybe not workhorse, but some muscle back there to help balance him out as he has blossomed in the passing game and things, and on the outside. And then the defense, as you said, will be the key. On the same way for the Chargers, I think as they already seem to be doing, getting a run game, which not fully focusing on it, of course, because you want to continue to help Herbert do his thing, but having a good run game next to him, of course, will be very helpful. And the defense, I think, is a big thing for Harbaugh. And then if they just continue to build it up in the right ways, obviously we'll see how things play out once we get closer to the season. But I do think that they can make the proper jumps if they play the right way. So it's possible. They just got to move accordingly. So we'll see.
It's funny, and I'll get your take on this too, but I feel like the Chargers have way more to prove than the Rams do, just coming off of 5-win season, completely new regime, still a young quarterback that hasn't won a playoff game. But even with that being said, I think they have the better chance of winning their division maybe than the Rams do, just because we saw the Chiefs get to the Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl with the 11-win season. Like, they weren't like the best team in the league by any stretch. They kind of struggled to the finish line. I think they were 2-3 or 3-2 in the last month before the playoffs. Like, there's a potential that the receiving core isn't going to be stellar next year either for the Chiefs, but they still find a way to get the job done. So you could maybe see the Chargers ending with a better record, but still probably having more to prove than the Chiefs, because we've seen the Chiefs do it before and know that they can rise to the occasion. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Like, which team between the Rams and Chargers has a better opportunity to win their division?
I think the Rams do, actually, just because as good as the Niners are, and we do see how they do dominate a lot of teams in regular season, I do believe that the Rams put together a formula as they were starting to put together this year. Now, as they see what the holes are, can fill those spaces properly to build up to a team that is close to as good as the Niners squad. Also believe that the Niners might fall off a little bit next year, just as a part of the Super Bowl, and I almost call it hangover, but just adjustments after the fact, and a lot of conscience going to be up in the air, and seeing how movement might be made. I think that gap will be closed a little bit between them and the rest of the conference and the rest of the league, to the point that the Rams, if they move right, could jump ahead of them next season. So yeah, I'll say that.
Okay.
I'll ask you, I know this is the LA topic, but in regards to the Chiefs, do you think we've seen peak Chiefs yet?
That's a good question, because just in thinking about singularly about Mahomes too, like, we've seen like the 50 touchdown seasons, 5,000 passing yards. He's not throwing like those gaudy numbers anymore, but I think he's gotten better every year. Like, he's still a better version of himself, even if he's not that statistically.
Correct.
I think they've continued to get better, even while the rosters haven't been quite as good offensively. I think the defenses maybe have peaked because the defenses have been top units each year, it seems like, in the playoffs. But as an offense, I don't know that they've necessarily peaked, because Mahomes is continuously getting better. And like, if they're able to bring in a couple skill players that are more dynamic in the future, the offense could get more explosive, I could see in the future. So I don't know that they've necessarily hit their top potential, because I think Mahomes maybe hasn't hit his top potential.
Yeah. So just saying, with that, it's hard to say that the Chargers can get ahead of them. Still seeing that there potentially is room to grow for this Chiefs squad still, as well as to say. What I do think, in a way, the Niners on the other side have peaked. So yeah, how else keep an eye on and all of that. But yeah, again, to the point I said before it, there are formulas in place that if they play the right way, I think it's possible for both squads. So we'll see about it, and excited to see what moves are made as things go along here to make that happen. The last thing I'll say is the Chargers are putting together the last of their roster, of their staff. They hired Navarro Bowman from the Niners to now be on their staff defensively. I don't believe he's the defensive coordinator, but I do believe he might be a linebacker coach, literally. My apologies, but I saw that he was brought on, but they're putting together pieces who they're bringing in tough guys on the defensive side, and they clearly have Jim Harbaugh clearly has that smash mouth mentality in mind still, and wants to carry that bring that to the Chargers. And excited to see how that gets instilled with this offseason as things go along. So yeah, that's the last thing I wanted to note.
Yeah, this other question, I guess, is more so about the Chiefs. But I mean, we've been talking about the how the Chargers can potentially throw a wrench into things for the back-to-back champs. But what do you see like the championship window kind of being for the Chiefs? Because it feels like it's wide open as long as they have Mahomes and Reed.
Right.
I know Reed is getting older. I think he's around 70, a little under. But I
Right.
could still see him coaching for several more years. And I know Kelsey is like flirted with maybe retiring soon, but I think he's good enough and able enough to run it back for at least another season and maybe a couple. And it feels like even with trading away Tyreek Hill, they've won 2 straight after trading away their best receiver, and they've managed to do it with weak receiving cores. Like it feels like the window is wide open for them still. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I can't put a number on it because we saw how even with, like, for example, a player like, or even Brady, because Brady is the one we always compare him to. Even during Brady's down years, once they again figured out, because there were adjustment period where obviously it was heavily defensive things and defense got weak. They had to figure out how to adjust things, and they had the offenses that were great, and that got them to the Super Bowl, and then they lost in that one. And just whatever they said adjustments, and they had to figure out how to keep progressing along with Tom. I think continue to progress along with Pat. I think they'll continue to find ways for his whole tenure to be around. We could see him in year 15 still winning Super Bowls for sure. And I can't put a number on his window right now at all. I think he had a talent to be around for a very long time. So there's no window for him. The door is wide open. But still in that, as we saw in the Braves era, yes, he won 7 and in the midst of that, but there are other teams that still find ways to get wins too. And I think the Chargers, they move accordingly to finally make a jump. I mean, on Super Bowl, we don't make no grand explanations on that, but they could, just in regards to our topic about the conference, I think they could get ahead potentially in that and go from there. So
I definitely saw people in the comments doing there like, please, Joe Burrow, can you hear me? Please save us, Joe Burrow, from Patrick Mahomes.
Especially Lamar, man. That was the other thing. Going back to the game, and for those that tuned into this part, because we might clip at this here again, show love Alec'S report. Appreciate all the love in that. Going back to the game, the last part that stuck to mind was just that, man, the Ravens really could have had Super Bowl if they would have just played the right way. Like they could have beat this Niners squad yet again if they had found a way just to hold on and not hold on, but just play the game the right way as they were supposed to and get that victory versus the Chiefs. But wasn't meant to be, and is what it is. The clock is ticking a little bit on Lamar. Not on Lamar, but just on the Ravens themselves. Just you have a 2-time Super Bowl champion or MVP on your squad. You have a great defense there, and we keep on trying to praise you guys and acknowledge you guys as the up-and-coming squad and the biggest threat to the Chiefs and all this stuff.
Yeah,
and
Chiefs said they beat the best team in the league when they beat
the Ravens. We can't have the Super Bowl champs acknowledging that we're the best team, but we're the team that falls short. So we'd love to see the Ravens make a jump somehow and be the team that ruins the three-peat. But yeah, there's got to be some proper moves in place made to get that done. So I think that they feel the weight at this point, and I hope they act on it properly.
Yeah. So do we have some early predictions for next season?
Well, they broke the Super Bowl logo color theory this year in regards to the purple and red. So we can't say that's going to be the I think it's purple and green next year. It's not going to be the Chiefs and the Packers or whatever, or something like that. My biased pick is Ravens versus whoever. I can't even name it off the head. I don't want to say Niners right now because I do think there's going to be a fall off next year a little bit. Okay. It's going to be a fun NFC race for sure. Maybe it is the Packers. Maybe it is not Ravens Packers. I don't know. I'll put it out there for now, just off the top of the head. But we'll see about it. That's definitely a dark horse there. But my unbiased pick, I would like to see a three-peat in the NFL. Yeah. I can't remember the last time we've seen it. So I think the Cowboys might have done that a while ago, right? Did they? Or they won 3 and 5 years, 3 and 4 years. The Cowboys won 3 and 4 years, or was that a three-peat?
I don't
and
think
they
anyone
won.
has three. I don't think anyone is three-peated in the
Oh,
NFL.
okay. So yeah, I
Yeah.
love to see that. If Mahomes can do it, I'm all for it. So unbiased Chiefs, biased Ravens, and whoever they play is whatever. What
You
about
said the Packers. You said the Packers,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah, whatever.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think if I was a betting man, I'm betting on the Chiefs to get back there in the
Yeah.
AFC. Um, like a I guess more fun pick would be Cincinnati revenge season with Burrow coming back healthy in the AFC. So I'll stamp that as my AFC pick with the Bengals, but
Wow.
it also would be interesting because they had high hopes this year, and Mr. What did he call it? I've been Mr. Immunized got injured. He got injured in week 1 of the season, but they had high hopes for potentially
That's
AFC
true.
run for the Jets. The defense showed up, but they had quarterback struggles once again. So
Right.
that would be fun, interesting if the Jets can get there with
Mhm.
Rodgers. But yeah, I'll say Bengals, AFC, NFC. You can always count the Cowboys out. They're not going to do
Right.
it.
I'm not wasting my time with that.
Um, of course, the Niners could get back. I think that's the safe pick. Uh, the Lions, maybe with another season under their belt, having gotten
Uh-huh.
there. Lions might
I'll
be.
ask this because we keep on saying that you don't have the same feeling about the Niners that you do about the Eagles last year, because you said the Eagles all year were very fraudulent, and this year it played out. This year the Niners had a run and they fell short. You don't feel the same way
Yeah.
about them now with how things played out.
No, because I don't think at any point they were fraudulent. I think they just ran into the baby goat,
Yeah.
in the Chiefs and Mahomes. They just ran into the more seasoned team that had been there before, won the previous year,
Mhm.
and knows how to win. To your point earlier in the season about that being a skill, knowing how to win.
Right.
Shanahan's certainly got it down in the regular season, but in the Super Bowl, he hasn't figured that out quite yet.
Completely
Um,
loses it.
yeah, so no, I got it. I don't really see them because I mean, as you said, like the roster could change a little bit. That Greenlaw injury, we didn't talk about that. That's tough.
Yeah.
Tearing your Achilles in a non-play
Yeah.
in the
Just too
Super
hyped on the
Bowl.
field. Yeah,
Oh
you gotta
man,
relax, man.
that's brutal. And because they could play the what if game if he's healthy, maybe they do pull it out.
Yeah,
On
the
the
guy that
Super Bowl
replaced
night.
him was getting picked apart a little bit. They said
Yeah,
afterwards.
yeah.
But also, I saw a video. Maybe I'm too deep into football TikTok or whatever, but
Mhm.
there were TikTok doctors, whatever, showing a bunch of highlights and stuff of him, and how he
Uh,
always does that move, and how you keep moving a certain way, it's bound to give out on you at some point. He finally did it one too many times, and it caught him. So whether you're going to sideline or
Going
in the
down.
game, he might. It was that thing might have been on his way to popping. So yeah, just in regards to coaching and things in general, just we talked about it in a little bit. Just in regards to the LA folks when they were talking about banning the football for 12-year-olds and stuff. Just proper teaching kids early, proper technique, and it's not just in regards to hitting the helmet. It's how you move your body. There's a way to move all across the field, and certain things, if you don't do it the wrong way, can lead to injuries, as we saw with Greenlaw, who has been
Yeah,
moving around like that all season long, and finally caught up to him. So
yeah,
sad it's going to go down like that, and hopefully, to your point, it doesn't last. It doesn't create a hole in their defense all next
yeah.
season.
To your question though about them, like the difference between them and the Eagles of last year, like I think this team is a bit more stacked than that Eagles team is in terms of you have arguably the best running back in the league.
Mhm.
Um, you've got Debo, Ayuk. Ayuk might not be there as we mentioned, but Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, who only had 2 catches for 4 yards or whatever in the Super Bowl, but
Right.
they've got a stacked offense. They've got playmakers on defense. The roster may shift a little bit, but I think on paper it's still going to be the best team in the league, and I think
Mhm.
we could kind of see the cracks in the Eagles from the beginning of the season. We could even see the cracks in the Super Bowl run, just with them having a bit of a weaker schedule in that run. But we kind of looked past it because you play who's in front of you. But we could see the cracks even in the Super Bowl run, where I don't really think we saw quite of the cracks in the Niners. We saw them lose that Ravens game on Christmas, but beyond that,
Mhm.
it seemed like they were still the team to beat in the NFC. Um, and I think that still holds true for the most part next year. And they have the coach as well. They're like too like they have more of the infrastructure I think than the Eagles did and do.
Mhm.
And I think they'll be viewed differently than that Eagles team. Yeah.
Got it. All right. So yeah, I just wanted to ask you about that. So yeah, we'll see who gets there next year. We'll cover covering things all season long and have a good time with it. You guys can let us know who you guys have as your way too early Super Bowl predictions for next year, and we'll get back to more of
Oh yeah,
that.
I didn't stamp mine. I guess I'll say Bengals Lions as
Okay.
my
Oh, I
way
forgot
too
the
early.
Lions. That's a good pick too. Salute to them. So we'll see they can get right next season and can convert them fourth downs as they need to next year
Yeah.
to get over the hump. So yeah, a lot of good stuff going on in the NFL for sure. A quick update NBA wise. Can we
Lakers.
get this?
They better be up 15.
Not 15, it's 11, 34-45. So
Okay.
close to it, but on the way. A little bit closer of a second quarter at the moment. But with LeBron and everybody in the building, I'm sure they'll start breaking away in a little bit, or they should break away in a little bit.
Right.
And excited to see how that goes. We currently have a former Piston now on the team. Just a quick thought about Dinwiddie now joining the Lakers officially.
He was a Piston?
I thought he was at some point. I think we had him on a grid one time for a Piston. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
I don't remember his Detroit days. Maybe I'm blanking on that, but yeah, Din Shitty has arrived to the Los Angeles Lakers. As we talked about, like I'm not mad at it. Like I don't think it's
there. He started there.
Okay, he started there. Got you. I don't think it's much of a needle mover either way. Like I don't think it's a bad signing, just getting him on a veteran minimum and getting a backup point guard in the building when Gabe Vincent has been Kendrick Nunn 2.0 for us and hasn't really touched the floor. I think he's played 5 games this season, so not mad at it there. I don't think it's upgrade in any way over D'Angelo Russell's defensive abilities or offensive abilities. I think trade deadline D'Lo, as we talked about, the offense has been great, and I think that will continue. I think in that Pelicans game, they had like all 5 starters were over 20 points, and D'Lo had 30 himself.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean it's a move. I'm not mad at it. He's a LA. He played at Taft High School too. I think you said something. Him and Jordan Farmer were the two former Taft guys play for the Lakers, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean it's is kind of just a shrug. Like, okay, cool, but you know.
Yeah. I think again, any piece can be helpful right now. As much as we want to be confident in our squad and all that, we have to acknowledge that we still are the 10-9 seed, whatever, right now. So help can surely be added to this team, as we have been mid. Literally, we're 28-28 right now, or 28-26 right now. So want to continue to build on that and become a true contender this year, as we desire. Having a piece like that off the bench surely can be a welcome addition. And instead of being a second option, as people tried to argue about being a couple of years ago, being that 6th, 7th, 8th man, whatever, I think now is a role he could blossom at and be beneficial for us. And hopefully there's a lot of tweets about, hopefully he doesn't come over here and lose his jumper and all that stuff, as many other guys have done, and he could continue to be the guy that he has shown himself to be over the last couple of years. So we'll use the help, and hopefully.
I didn't see. Has he gotten minutes yet? If you see the box score.
Can I scroll on this and see if he'll give us anything?
Let's see. Lakers. Oh yeah, he's played 10 minutes, no points.
He's getting some time.
Yeah.
No points. Scoring, and here he goes. 10 minutes, no points. All cardio already. But hopefully at some point he can put the ball in the basket and help us out, please. My God. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that, and excited for what's on the way. We'll have more NBA talk officially on Thursday as we get you guys ready for All-Star Weekend. Have a fun time. As we talked about a couple weeks ago, we're supposed to have our midseason awards. We're going to bump that to that Thursday episode before the All-Star Weekend to have a good time with that. And we might even come back on Friday or Saturday ourselves during the All-Star Weekend and have a live reaction to some stuff going on for you guys' entertainment and all of that. So, excited for all this on the way, NBA-wise, coming back to the NFL and just football-wise across LA. We addressed the Rams and Chargers with some of the small things they did, as well as just looking at them compared to what's going on in the Super Bowl and things, how they could be the teams that are up next. Now, as we go on from there, there was some big news in LA beyond the NFL world, going back to college. Folks have been waiting for Chip Kelly to be gone for a little while now, and their wishes have finally been answered. Coach Bill O'Brien was hired as the OC at Ohio State. And then like a week later, Boston College called and said, hey, we want you to come be our head coach if you can. And he said, I just accepted this job over here. They're like, we don't care. Come on and join us. And he said, oh, you don't care. I don't care. Let's roll. So he went and joined Boston College. creating another vacancy at the OC spot for Ohio State. And Ryan Day, who I think has worked with Chip Kelly before, I forgot where that was. My apologies, but he called Chip Kelly and said, "Hey, we got an OC spot. We know you've been feeling a way about UCLA for a minute now, or been ready to go. Come join us, and let's have a good time." And he took the job, and going from there. So before we talk about who he hired, how you feel about Chip Kelly leaving UCLA for Ohio State?
Well, what was that song you were singing? The storm is over now, or whatever. No, he's been the definition of mid, right? Like we brought up our buddy from Dodgers Nation, Doug McCain, his tweet that he had about breaking down the numbers of his record at UCLA and just how the definition of mid that he's
literally
been.
500.
Yeah, I mean, it was time for a change. It felt like he thought he might have saved himself with the USC win at the end of the season, but no, thankfully, he did decide to move on. It was a bit surprising to me for him to move on to take an OC role. Like, and maybe he just desired less responsibility.
He's ready to go. That means
exactly.
I don't care where I go, just get me out of here.
Exactly. So I guess he desired less responsibility too, because I would think like if you're leaving the head coaching role, like you'd want a head coaching job somewhere else.
I will also say in modern and current times, as I think going to Ohio State is an upgrade over being at UCLA, regardless of
as the OC.
Even though it is a lesser role, being there and being on a potentially championship level squad that Ohio State is, though people argue that with a couple of right moves, if he would get over his being
is that the same conference now too? I get confused. Is that Big Ten still? Because UCLA is going to the Big Ten, right?
I think they will be in the same conference.
Yeah, I think they'll be in the same conference.
So again, I guess he didn't really care about that. Conference don't matter. He's looking beyond it and wants to make a real playoff push and sees Ohio State as a better opportunity to do that. And the same with other coaches, and we've been frustrated. For example, the Arizona coach went to Washington coach went to Alabama. Guys are always looking at ways to upgrade and even beyond financial gain sometimes if they can go and be a champion. So, I think he saw an opportunity at Ohio State. He felt like, as you said, the Storm many fans felt that his time had run here at UCLA, and they called him at Ohio State, and he saw that as a great opportunity to move on into his next ventures. So, he's going there, and I think he can work better in the OC role, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
Even for a little while, I think, as you were kind of saying, just having a less of a role and just focus on the offense and curate that as best as he wants. I think that could be beneficial to all parties. And Ohio State is a team with plenty of talent. Him being able to maximize that, I think he is one of the coaches that, though again we do say he's mid here at UCLA, we've seen another 10 years how he was able to bring greatness out of offenses. I think he could maximize that Ohio State offense that needs some help last year. So salute to him for doing that, I guess. And I just wanted to acknowledge that before we got to the other side of it.
It seems like his talents, to your point, are more suited to just being in the OC role. Like we've seen him as a head coach in multiple spots now, like just be kind of inconsistent as the head coach there. Like you still have good offenses and explosive offensive performances, but as the head decision maker, as the head coach, like kind of falling short. And we saw a lot of mediocrity at UCLA too with him in that role. So I think I agree that he might just be best suited as being an OC somewhere. So good. Salute to you.
Salute to you. Bigger salute potentially to your uncle, Deshaun Foster.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We keeping it in the family, baby.
In the family, being brought on as the new head coach at UCLA. Not literally your uncle, for those that might be watching and confused, like, what, your uncle? But we always talk about people named Foster being tied to Alec, most notably Alan Foster, who will leave that alone.
No, we don't claim him in the family.
No, don't talk about that. But Deshaun Foster, for sure, is a name worth saying and acknowledging in full. Definitely a great character who was a former running back at UCLA, now being brought back to be the head coach, taking Chip Kelly's place. And we saw in his introductory press conference that he talked about how he once was here and is glad to be back. And we also saw when he talked to the team for the first time, was introduced to them, the team all jumped around and celebrated him grandly. And we didn't see energy like that, at least from what I remember with Chip
Right.
at all. So
Right.
seeing that these are guys that want to rally around this coach and want to really welcome him in back into the family there, I think it'll be very successful for him. I'm excited to see what all is next for this UCLA squad.
Yeah, man, I love to see a black man get paid, man. It's great to see Deshaun Foster get this this role as the head coach, and joked about keeping it in the family, but it is keeping it in the family for UCLA, as you said, as he is a former running back for UCLA and had a lot of success there and success at the NFL level as well. So I agree. I saw a lot of excitement about this hire just online, and as you said in his introduction to the media and to the public. It seems like there is some rejuvenation for UCLA fans who are excited about coming back to the Rose Bowl to watch UCLA play and actually being in the stadium, because that was a struggle too, just getting fans committed to this UCLA team in recent years with their struggles. So I think it's going to be a positive both on the field and off the field for the fandom and for the alums. And I think it was a great hire. It feels like across the board now. It feels like there's a new energy around UCLA now with this hire.
New energy. So you're talking about I guess keeping it in the family in a way with having him be the room that he already is. He talked about wanting to make a big thing out of the spring game and returning to the Rose Bowl. Having a whole fan appreciation situation going on where you continue to get more tied into that UCLA fan base that is as loud and welcoming as it is. And I think that'll be a great thing to continue to make them more of an appealing situation. And I think the energy is that the energy is shifting for UCLA, which is much needed for them as they continue to build things. Especially as they also transition, as we pointed out, to a new conference going to the Big Ten, wanting to show that this is a team not to be messed with. I think they can have a nice introduction this year with Deshaun leading the way. So salute to them, and excited for what all is next with UCLA there.
Sure. Salute to all the Fosters out there. That's good.
Most of them.
Yeah, most of them.
I was trying to think of anything else LA wise to get to. Not really have anything major. There was some talk about Caleb Williams again this week. I don't really want to get to that, honestly. I mentioned it to you all before the show.
No, not seriously. People take that stuff too seriously.
I don't want to say it all because folks just play too much. I think either way he's going to be he's in good shape wherever he ends up, and his character off the field, I don't think will deter any of what he has on the way for him. So I'll just say that in short. I
did hear what's that former Bears player's name? Like he was kind of saying like he didn't see anything special from Caleb Williams beyond the outfit thing. He was like giving like draft criteria thing. Yeah. I think I saw that clip on my timeline. I forget his name. He's a known name.
I got it. So sorry. Okay, loaded. There you go. So that is a good point. Merrill Hodge is the one. Out. He had been known to be, I don't want to say call him a QB guru, but he has been an accurate analyst in times in the past about a number of quarterbacks. I think even during, we talk about Pat Mahomes, I think it was during that draft with Trubisky. I think he might have made a point about him not being sold on him. He's made a couple points about other quarterbacks who it was spot on about them maybe not being as highly touted as the rest of the media world was. And everyone is in love right now with Caleb Williams, or for the most part is in love with Caleb Williams and see him as number one pick that we believe him to be. And he said he doesn't quite view him the same way, and that he requires proper structure around him in order to succeed. And that if not, it could be similar, I guess, a replica of what we saw at USC in this last season, at least, where he might put up numbers and things, and he might be successful in certain ways, but if the rest of the pieces aren't there, he can't quite pull a Mahomes like Mahomes did. Which I think is unfair because Mahomes still had Kelsey, Mahomes still had the defense.
People said he's a Mahomes and what hybrid?
Hodge's exact point. So I want to remove him from that. But just the idea of him not being surrounded with talent, able to succeed, that kind of is a reality for most folks. But I understand him. I somewhat understand the point, just that he believes what he's trying to say is that he doesn't quite view Williams in the same way. And yeah, I'll go let you go first. Do you agree with Merrill in some way about Caleb being a little overrated, or do you truly believe he's the truth, as the majority of folks feel?
To some extent, because Merrill definitely does not agree with the more refined Mahomes.
Let me
As
go ahead
people
and
were,
find his actual quote as we continue to talk about it. Go ahead.
yeah, because we've joked about the, I guess you could call it glazing, but the way that Caleb had been talked about after his Heisman and everything, about how he's a more refined Patrick Mahomes and all that kind of stuff that
Mhm.
scouts had said, and how people need to pump the brakes a bit on that type of rhetoric. I do agree that he does need like a bit of structure, of course, like
Oh,
and then
ironically, I tried to give him some bail because I didn't remember his quote. I saw a quick note about him.
he said he's not special. I
I
think,
made the
yeah,
Patrick Mahomes comparison. He actually said the same thing. So what he said was, he is not special. He's not something unique like Patrick Mahomes. I hope
right.
the Bears don't think, well, let's try to make up for our mistake when we pass on Patrick Mahomes and go get the Patrick Mahomes. This kid is not Patrick Mahomes. He ain't even really close to that. So I
I
tried to
agree
say
with
he didn't
that.
say
I agree
that.
with that actually. Yeah.
And yeah, that's just a very clear statement about Caleb. And you say you agree with that?
I do agree with that statement. Like, it's unfair to compare him to Mahomes, and I think it's
Uh-huh.
disrespectful to compare honestly any college quarterback to Mahomes at this point. Like what we've seen him do.
I guess real quick, my question is, when he says that, um, and I could have read it for myself, but I don't. Okay, my bad. So, just my point was going to be in that: are we trying to compare him to Mahomes now, or Mahomes out of the draft? Because Mahomes out of the draft seemed like this is a person that Williams could have been, not, I don't want to fully on par with, but they could have been close to. Maybe it was a 1 and 2, or Mahomes is the one, and he's the clear two. But even in that, I do think he has a level of play that can reach what Mahomes it has become,
Was what Mahomes was.
or Mahomes was.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I don't, I'm not as sternly against it as he is. And you
Yeah,
said you
that I'm not mad at.
and go
I'm not
ahead.
mad at that as far as like them as prospects coming out of the draft. Oh, Alpha Vivid's back, our guy,
Yeah.
our
I,
guy. What we got here?
In my opinion, he's a bit overrated. People talk about him like he's the best prospect all time. Look what happened to Trevor Lawrence. He also was one of the best prospects in all of college football. Yeah, we do see guys fall
Great
off.
point.
Um, yeah, we also, and I guess the same thing we can talk about with Caleb going to potentially the Bears, but
Yeah.
we also just did see him going to a bad situation with the Jaguars, and the first year was a mess, and people said he had fallen off and it was bad. And then he had kind of some of a bounce back year, second year, and then this third year that we just saw, it was kind of up in the air. He was kind of back and
He's never
forth.
been a generational talent,
But
even when he's
he has
played
not
well.
quite reached
Yeah.
that peak that we all had thought he would be. So
Mhm.
I really get what you're saying in that. So the situation does matter a bit. So him going to the Bears might end up making Merrill Hodge look right. And hopefully instead that team can surround it with the right pieces to succeed as greatly as he can. There was rumors of him sitting for another year, wherever the case was, trying to avoid the Bears. Maybe he saw that and wants to avoid the Trevor Lawrence fate, which isn't bad, but it's just not as grand
Honestly,
as so.
I think the Bears are set up all right. Honestly, like they've got a defense that was playing really good football back half of the season.
Well,
Uh,
my point is, how do you view the coaching?
I guess that's the main question mark there. That you would say. Do we talk about rumors of the Bears are thinking about picking Williams and keeping Fields? No, we didn't talk about that. But yeah, I mean, like I think they have decent pieces there where like Caleb could be successful. Maybe not the breakout generational talent that
Right.
some might see, but um, I think Caleb right now has better tools, at least passing wise, than Justin Fields does.
Uh-huh.
Justin Fields obviously has the dynamic like dual threat ability, but Caleb can also scramble too. So like I think right now, I'd be comfortable saying that he can put forth a better season in his rookie season than Justin Fields did.
Mhm.
And I think he can be successful and like still be like open to criticism in his rookie season because they do have pieces there with the defense with DJ Moore and potentially drafting another skill player to go with them
Right.
with that because they have like 1 and 8, right? Something like that.
Yep.
Um, so like I think he'll be set up if he is with the Bears to succeed. It's just to your point, the coaching is the question mark there. So I guess that could be like the saving grace if they don't succeed out of the gate, kind of thing.
I guess talent-wise, back to what Mayor Hodge said, talent-wise, I believe he has the potential, I guess individually, to be as good as Mahomes. But I don't think, of course, I don't think anyone is going to come in and anyone can replicate what Mahomes has done with the Chiefs squad. It's a whole different situation, and that talent and what they put together is something that is bar none. But
And when you say talent wise, like what do you mean? Like arm talent, like physical gifts, arm talent, or like intangible type stuff too?
I guess what I'm talking about is arm talent, mobility. I think they do have similar play styles, and I see why folks have the comparisons. Obviously, we're seeing a fully formed Mahomes right now,
Right,
and
right,
rising as he is, and
right,
a still a new Caleb Williams still finding his way, having not even played in the NFL yet. So
right.
we can't just obviously stamp it. But what we see in college, I compared Mahomes when we saw him in college as well. I can see how you look at the two and believe they're similar. So just in regards to him being on that same path, yes, he could play in a similar fashion, but also as we see with Mahomes, pieces around him at least somewhat matter. And having some guy that can catch the ball, Mahomes is a little bit different. It's like just have somebody that can catch the ball, and you can win the game along with the defense. And then we did see somewhat other same things with Caleb and the USC when the defense fell apart. That team couldn't win games. Yeah, I don't want to fully put him on the same bar, but
Yeah,
I just want to acknowledge his talent and say that I do believe he is he's very good, and I believe he
yeah.
will be very good in the
I think
pros as well.
yeah. What I would say is like I think he has some of the same tools. I don't think he has quite the same intangibles
Sure,
as Mahomes does. So like
sure,
that's probably where I would separate it because the arm talent pops off the charts. Some of the throws we've seen Caleb make,
correct.
his ability to uh, put up points in bunches with those offenses at USC. But some of those, like we saw the breakdown of his numbers against the teams that were ranked or like above 500, where it was pretty rough going for him. And part of that is the defense, like it's a team game, but part of that was him in some moments not necessarily making the plays that they needed. At times turning the ball over. And that stuff, like with time and growth, I think he'll improve upon and
Yes,
get more comfortable in the league.
I guess
So
a slight rebuttal to that is that as great as Mahomes was in college,
mhm.
he wasn't a play in college wise. He wasn't a
Yeah,
playoff guy in college.
right,
So
right.
obviously we saw what he became, but folks are talking about,
His teams also weren't ranked like USC teams were and that kind of thing either. Too like he didn't have like the I guess the expectations too that USC had. So maybe that's more of a um like saving grace, I guess, for Caleb is that like there was more pressure maybe on him than Mahomes in college,
like
but
Alpha, that's kind of my point. Like he went to Texas Tech, and we didn't know Pat was going to become Pat, and now we're
yeah,
trying to compare Caleb to a now finished product when it's not going to be exactly the same. So that's kind of what I'm trying to say in that him not him being at USC just puts more eyes on him that I guess changes the bar that we didn't quite have for Mahomes, and that is part of why Mahomes even fell to what was that 15 or whatever. Yes, he also did have a guy like
right,
Deshaun Watson in his class, and there were other guys that were supposed to be heavy hitters. But you
right.
say the same thing about this draft. Where you have the Drake Mays and the Jaden Daniels and all these guys too.
Yep.
So we'll see how that plays out. So, but yeah, just gonna be interesting to see how that goes. And I'm rooting for him wherever he goes. So I hope that he has a successful career
Yeah,
in
it's been
Chicago or wherever.
it's been a rough going for USC quarterbacks. So
Man,
hopefully he
yeah,
can
exactly. Break the
bust the
curse.
trend in the NFL. Yeah.
Yeah, please, my God. So we'll be tuned into that. We'll have more conversation for sure as things go along. I will go back to something that Alpha said just in regards to the idea of the Bears picking Williams and keeping Fields. I have seen a couple of rumors about that for whatever reason. I think that puts both QBs in a bad spot.
In a tough
Especially when
spot. Yeah.
yeah, when you know at some point Williams going to go, most likely Justin with how things have gone, and just
Yeah.
contractually, it still makes more sense after the fact. I know I guess the theory would be you wait till after the draft to trade him and see what pieces you can get. Having both QBs in the building at any point, I think is too awkward of a situation to want to have. I think it'd be better just to go and flip him early and get draft picks and have those picks in your hands beforehand than try to trade for him afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Like I think it makes more sense to flip Justin while you can. And I agree. I think it kind of hinders both guys when you have two young quarterbacks on the same team, kind of
That
fighting for the
too.
same position. If one of them was a vet, and like it made more sense to play the mentor role for that guy, that kind of thing,
Yep.
that makes more sense. But two young guys who are still finding their footing, like Justin Fields isn't a seasoned vet by any stretch at this point. So yeah, I think it makes more sense probably to go with trading him while his value is
Um,
still high too. Yeah.
if this might not, I'm gonna try to say it, but like you also don't usually see real quick. It seems like the radio should be trying to send out a second round ASAP. Yeah, a few teams for sure should be calling about that. There's no
Yeah.
doubt. But the point I was just gonna make is that competition in the NFL is very real, and we obviously are fully aware of that. We also don't, but at the same time, we don't usually see that between like big names. Like usually we know at the bottom of the roster, wherever the case is, we see guys that are undrafted, wherever the case is, come in and try to fight for spots. We don't usually see, we rarely don't see, unless a guy as a backup during the season pops up like a Brady taking over for Drew Bledsoe or wherever it's a situation like that. We don't usually see top picks drafted together at the same position going at it for a spot when they both are highly touted. So yeah, it's like they both could be. It doesn't make sense to keep both of those, and
Right.
they should move on sooner than later if that's the move they're going to do. So
Yeah, it's kind of like
yeah,
money, like burning a hole in your pocket, honestly. Like,
yeah.
because there's value there that you can get something back for him and utilize that either in the draft or another player, whatever. So yeah,
Jay Fields to the Falcons is the dream pick for a lot of folks.
I
I
don't
think
know if
that
that's
makes
the answer though, but
I don't know
it
if
could
it's
be
an
fun.
answer, but
It could be
it
fun for
does
him.
seem to be a very fun fit.
Yeah,
I have seen some folks, and I've been holding my breath in a way and knocking on wood and whatever, saying the Steelers can make a push for him potentially as they are rebuilding their quarterback room. They just let go of Trubisky and somebody else is already gone. I think Kenny Pickett is the only QB left in the room right now. So they could go and get somebody else, and that guy could be Justin Fields potentially if they make a right trade. Yeah, I don't quite know how that would go, but it makes sense for the Steelers wise. So yeah, there are a couple of teams on the table for him. You said it's another bet for the Falcons. Where do you see him working out best instead of Chicago?
yeah. I mean, it could be a fun spot. I think like it makes sense why people are intrigued by that. With
Mhm.
the skill players that they have with Bijan and Drake London and Kyle Pitts and no
Right.
Arthur Smith, so they're hopefully going to utilize those guys. I think you mentioned like the Raiders too.
He
Um,
mentioned, yeah, Alpha
oh,
did.
okay, yeah, like that could be interesting as well because they could certainly use a more dynamic QB. Just trying to think off the top.
Alpha, I got you for the Steelers. I saw that.
Yeah, Steelers would make sense too. There we go. Lakers extended it to 23-point lead at the half.
Correct.
Um, just pulling up the NFL teams real quick. Uh, it's tricky because I'm not sure how other NFL teams view Justin Fields. You know what I mean by that? Like
Mm-hmm.
you see like the dynamicism like in his dual threat ability, seeing some of the rawness still there too. Um yeah, I've seen Pat's mentioned before as well. Um But I'm not sure if like teams view him as a piece that like can take them to the playoffs and compete, or if they still kind of see him like as a project as well.
It's weird. It's weird because as much as I hear what you're saying,
Yeah.
excuse me. As much as I hear what you're saying, it feels like a not to the same extent, but just in what some recently, like the Lamar Jackson situation, like last year when people had a chance to trade for him and he didn't want to go trade for him, or whatever the case may have been.
Yeah, Lamar was already MVP though, so that's the difference.
Sure,
Like
sure,
you've seen him.
whatever. But just in the sense of compared to what they have. And it's like they have this hard grade for Justin. It's like we bring him in and we're not sure if he's going to work. And it's like, for example, the team that we have here, the Pats have Mac Jones. It's like Justin Fields or Mac Jones. Like, be for real. Like, I know you're debating about a quarterback. And like, we don't know if we want to bring in Mac Jones. We don't know if we want to bring in Justin Fields. So you have all these hard critiques about Justin Fields. How do you feel about Mac Jones in the building right now? Raiders, you guys have Aiden O'Connell and Jimmy G. Like, I know you guys might be on the fence about Justin Fields, but he's far better than what you guys have.
Raiders should make that move. Steelers should make that move.
Falcons, a lot of those teams. So it's like these teams look outside and they have all these critiques about, this quarterback's okay, and we're not sure if he wants to be the guy. So you have all these critiques, but the guys in the building aren't even close. Aren't close, but there clearly is a difference between them and the guy on the table. So once there is debate a bit, I think a team should swing at him and have more of a critique while he's on the roster than look at him from afar and wish.
I agree. Yeah, I agree about those four that we previously had. Seahawks, I thought about. So like, there's some fringe teams here. So Seahawks, I thought of. The Titans, I thought of too, because they don't have 100% figured out at QB.
They might be. Well, they said they're kind of giving Levis a year, but I hear
exactly. And then the Giants, I thought of too, because Daniel Jones unsure and coming off injury, and then Tommy DeVito. It was fun, but so like there's some of those teams like that should be maybe interested in a QB as well, but Broncos, I don't know if Sean Payton wants that, to be honest.
I don't think so. A funny flip would be trading him for Russ and then having Russ on the bench behind Caleb somehow. I don't know if that would work, but people are writing off Russ again, so whatever. Yeah. But I don't know if Sean Payton wants to deal with that.
I think I don't know that he wants that.
I think he's one of those quarterbacky guys.
I think he wants that exactly. I think he wants that Drew Brees archetype. And he thought he might have that with Russ, but
purebred, however you want to call him, he wants one of those.
Right. I ain't gonna go that far, but yes.
Russ played well this year, and that's coming from someone who wasn't a big fan of Russ. Yeah, I agree.
He played better. He played better.
They wrote him off though, so it is what it is. So
he wasn't on our not him list nearly as much.
Right. He broke the not him curse. So
he had more touchdowns than he had bathrooms in his house this year.
Finally,
he was better. He was better this year.
Good graces. But we'll see what goes on with Justin for sure, and excited for all the things going on. Obviously, it seems like it's going to be a very fun one. A lot of movement going on across the board. So, anything else with Fields or anything else you want to get to NFL wise?
Nah, I'm starving right now, honestly. Did you want to do like a trivia thing or something? Or?
Just trivia and get out of here then. We're going for an hour and a half. We can call it a day. As you already mentioned, I was going to do it actually myself. The Lakers are at halftime up 23 on the Pistons, handling business. Dinwiddie update. He now has 1 point or no points still.
No.
He has. Rebound, assist points.
14 minutes.
1 rebound, 4 assists, 0 points. So the curse has struck again, but our stars are cooking still. D'Lo got 15. Anthony AD got 18.
There could be some nerves there, playing for the Lakers, first game.
Nerves and all that. Playing against the old squad, the Pistons. So having his way. A mock draft before. I don't know enough of the college guys like that to do a mock draft, but we could try it out at some point. We could bring some of our other NFL guys on and have fun.
I'm an NFL casual, so I don't know about a mock draft.
We acknowledge we're up in the stands right now. We acknowledge we're casual with stuff. We can talk about our LA teams for sure. But a full mock draft, I couldn't quite go down the list. But we'll give it a try. Maybe bring you on or something like that. You can input your picks in a way. Have you input there and share that way. But we'll see about that. But we'll have fun with it either way as things go along. But we'll definitely find ways to keep you all engaged with things. But going on from there, the last thing for today, as we said, we pull up these grids. We talked NFL. We've been talking NFL this whole time, so we'll start with the NFL quiz real quick. Then we'll end with the hoop grid. We'll just do 1-and-1. Or we'll try to do 1-and-1, and call it a day. So let's see if there's any new NFL trivia for us. Can you name the losing starting quarterback from every Super Bowl? That's a good one. Can you name every Super Bowl MVP? Every Super Bowl MVP is a good one too. Winning coach from every Super Bowl. Every player that had 100 yards in receiving yards in the Super Bowl.
No.
Every QB to throw 2 or more touchdowns in the Super Bowl. Rush for 100 yards in the Super Bowl. 2 or more TD receptions in the Super Bowl. Losing coach, no. The winning starting quarterback from every Super Bowl. I think it's one of those. So either the losing quarterback or winning quarterback from every Super Bowl team. Which one you want to do?
I'm not going to get some of the old ones, like the real old ones.
We'll be stumped. So I think winners, we might know more winners than losers. Winners.
Sure.
All right. So the name, the winning starting quarterback from every Super Bowl. They got 6 minutes on the clock for us. The hints, as you can kind of see here, the hint is Super Bowl team that they played for and their jersey number. Much appreciated. Obviously, some teams have won multiple times, so they'll fill in multiple. The average score is 47. We can get over 47. That'll be great. But we know that once it gets to the bottom here, that Super Bowl 1, Super Bowl 2, it might be tough, but we'll give it our best shot. 6 minutes on the clock. I'll put the first answer in when I'll let you pick, and you'll start once we put it in.
Drew Brees.
Tom, he said a bunch of Tom Brady. He said a bunch of Patrick Mahomes.
Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. I think not a bunch of Rodgers. You only have one, but I get you saying. Eli Manning.
Roethlisberger.
Roethlis.
Yeah, hard name to spell. Yeah.
Burger. Yeah. Russell Wilson got one.
Yeah, I did get one. You already yeah.
That'd be Nick Foles instead of Nick Foles. Joe Flacco. Who else is down here? Oh yeah, a bunch already. All right. Oh, Tampa Bay 14.
Was that the
Trent Dilfer got one somehow. Switch to the Ravens. Kurt Warner.
The Tampa Bay one, is that when they played the Raiders? Who was the quarterback?
I believe so. John Elway, Joe Montana.
Like Staubach.
Doug Williams got one. Yep. Roger Staubach.
You already put Marino.
Namath got one. Yeah, Joe Namath got one. Troy Aikman got a couple of those. Appreciate
Marino
that. Marino didn't. That's why
he didn't win, right? Yeah.
Matthew Stafford. Can't forget our guy.
Yeah.
No Herbert on here for sure. Brett Favre. Brett Favre. He got one.
I forgot about him.
What's the Pittsburgh quarterback again? I keep blanking on him. He's on Bradshaw. Terry Bradshaw. Appreciate that. The Giants quarterback, Chicago. Chicago. Oh my God. That's the dude. I know his name. I got Joe Flacco Alpha. I saw that. Oh my God. I thought I got it. Oh, he was 17. I can see their faces. 8. Steve Young.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We got all the recent ones. Minus Super Bowl 37. Tampa Bay's quarterback.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's that Raiders game, right?
Yeah. Oakland. Miami 12 won back to back. Who's this? I don't think it's mine. I thought
Super Bowl 7 and 8. Is that what that is?
Yeah, it's not Marino. Marino didn't win.
No. 7 and 8 is super early.
Yeah. Well, we're at 43. The number's 47. I didn't realize that. We got 3 minutes left. So any names? Johnson. Okay. Give it to me. Who is it? Johnson. Where you go? Brad Johnson. All right. Appreciate that. Alpha needed that. Green Bay 1 and 2. He went back to back.
Yeah. See, I don't know those.
I can't. Washington number 7. I feel like I should know who that is.
No, that's Super Bowl what?
I know 17. It's old. Yeah, but I feel like I still should, for some reason, like
Super Bowl 17.
I remember Doug Williams got one, and then before that,
I don't think there's any more obvious ones that we haven't said, like all-time greats. I'm ready to call it.
Aikman, Montana, Doug Williams, Steve Young, Joe Namath. Cunningham. I don't think Cunningham won one.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Cunningham, Steve Young. Who else was back then? Oh my God. All right. Mark Ripien. I think I'm sure you cheated on that, but we're gonna take it. I'm sure you looked that up just now, but we'll take it. We got the 45.
I'm here Googling.
Yeah. We appreciate the Google facts. Both of these are killing me, but whatever. You ready to call it? We got a minute left, but whatever.
Call it.
Yeah, we're calling it. All right. So it was Jim McMahon, Phil Simmons, Theismann.
Theismann.
Oh, stupid. All right. Phil Simms, Jim McMahon. I should have known McMahon. Plunkett, Theismann. I knew Theismann. All right.
In Stabler, Bob Reese. Oh, Unitas. Unitas.
Yeah, I couldn't. My mind couldn't go back that far. So it is what it is. We'll take the 45 for today. Good dub for us. We'll take the under, but it's still a good effort. Is what it is. One more update. Lakers second half is now started. 59-79. Still no points.
We're on Dinwiddie watch for this game.
Dinwiddie watch. That's what it is. All right, and then what are we doing? Oh, hoop grids. Speaking of the Lakers, NBA basketball stuff, we'll go over the hoop grids, and we'll start with the I called game of the day, and the picture is. Get out the way. I was getting edge. All right. So we got the Pacers. Where's the name? I'm almost bad. Okay, Pacers.
You're never gonna find a logo.
Pacers and the Pistons.
Oh my God.
What? Oh. I can't see. Man. See, that's why I got these damn glasses. All right. Paul George still on the Pacers.
Oh, he was at OKC in like 2017.
Yeah, he also was wearing the 24. So it's like 2016, 2015.
Like 2015 or 2016, yeah.
You want to say 2015?
Say 2015 because George Hill is still there too.
No, before that, 2014.
Okay.
Can't be that far back. Okay, 2014. April 2014. So it's probably still a regular season game.
Oh yeah, if the Pistons are in it, definitely.
Oh yeah, come on. I did that 1 year.
Blake Griffin, they had that 1 year.
The coaches, was that Vogel? I think that was Vogel still. And then on the Pistons,
2014.
Was that Van Gundy?
Oh, Stan, you mean? I don't remember, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Hey, I know ball. All right. So oops. All right. So we got Paul George. We got Sir Lancelot. We got Giorgio Hill.
Correct. No wing stop for Detroit Alpha.
We got is this a Hibbert year? Because this is I think this is the year of that picture. Remember that picture with all them?
Yeah.
David West.
Everybody with their shirt off or whatever.
Yeah.
Or no, was that the youth pastor picture?
Hold on.
I feel like I remember one of them with their shirt off though. Hey, what is this ad you got going on your screen, man?
Oh, hey, I don't know. Valentine's Day.
You got them targeted ads, man.
Headphones, man. Headphones, music. We need music more. Hey.
What was that? What's his name?
Paul George, Lance.
The dude Stephen A. calls a fat bastard. What's his name?
Whitlock.
Yeah,
he was like, I don't know why you're getting these ads.
Oh man, brother, it's based on your algorithm.
It's your algorithm, but I think it was the picture was this year.
Oh yeah.
It was this.
I remember the chest being out for George Hill.
Yeah. All right, so
so we got everyone from the album cover photo.
Yeah, we got the album cover. Who else was on there? Is gonna give us any help?
Who else would have been on the Pacers?
Yeah, it's still just them. Is that building the waiver right there?
For the Pistons bench, maybe. There it is.
That's Drummond right there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Josh Smith, maybe. Yep.
Would Ben Gordon still be in the league? I don't know.
Oh, who's this dude from Louisville? Oh my, I think it's like Peyton Siva.
Oh yeah. But the year didn't work. Yeah.
I think that's Greg Monroe.
That would make sense. Yeah.
I don't know who this is.
Is that Jerebko? Was he on the Pistons?
No, I think that's him. Jerebko's blonde. This dude's like redhead. Maybe it is. That's right.
That's it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yep. Jerebko.
Come on, man. I know Jerebko.
Singles over there. Both of them. Is that Brandon Jennings? This team was a wild squad. My lord, Brandon Jennings. Oh my gosh, this team.
Yeah. Young PG was giving LeBron fits in the playoffs. Alpha. Sure.
What a time! What a time! We had to go for 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Oh, we had 12. We get one more. Who was on the bench for the Pacers?
They had to have some white guys too, right?
Was that the last Granger year? No, I think Granger was
I don't think so.
Ah, dang. I don't know. Nobody on that bench. That's crazy.
I only know the starters. Pacers. Would like Solomon Hill be there?
The LeBron sniper, Solomon. Nope. That's
a U of A legend right there.
Yeah. Pacers 2014. Yeah, I don't even know the starting five. Who else was on that
team when they like played the Heat and everything?
Right.
Because they had to have a couple more guys who played.
See, this is the good old days when it was just a starting five and it was a bunch of randoms. Instead of all this depth in the NBA today, it was just give me a good five and I'm good to go. And now you gotta have 7+ so you can't cook.
Dang. Any more guesses, Alpha? You gonna help us out?
Give us one bench player. We got George Hill.
Already got George Hill. Come on, man.
Come on. He's right there.
We showed him. He had his chest out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's 12+. So we have
11, don't we?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh no, we got 12.
Yeah, we got 12. So we're good.
All right,
whatever.
Click see all players.
Whatever.
Russell Butler,
Sola, Evan Turner, Stuckey. I could have got Stuckey.
Oh, I was gonna guess Brandon Jennings.
Everywhere. God. KCP is everywhere.
Brandon Jennings, Mahimi. Will
Mahimi.
Bynum.
That's a deep dive right there.
Yeah.
All right. Final score.
It was a close game. It was a close game. So I guess Paul George then.
BG.
Yeah.
There we go. We'll take it. High today.
That was a good one.
86%. Can you see the players? Nope. All right. Good one there. KC's a wild guess and where I guess that. Yeah, I didn't realize how long he was in the league.
Yeah, it was probably his rookie year.
Oh my gosh. I don't even want to do this. I already know how this is about to go, but
Is it a Kings one?
yeah.
Yeah.
Not only that, play in the 80s, 15 plus, 1500
Let's see your Kings ball knowledge, man. Come on.
It's a season.
For once, you're not a Kings casual.
All right, so here we go. 250 assists in a season. De'Aaron Fox is an easy one. Give a deep dive. A Mike Bibby, a Jason Williams is an obvious one everybody knows.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and take that one. 1,500 points in the season. Did Buddy Hield get that? I'm sure Buddy Hield got that.
Probably.
We'll take it.
Big grab.
In the 80s.
Do they have any legends?
No, he played in the 80s. He played late 90s. But with Vladdy's 289. That counts.
Baby. Oh,
got him. Your turn.
That's cheated, man. That's cheated.
89. We in there though. We in
89.
there. We'll take it. 80s is 80s. But go ahead. The floor is yours. I got my 3.
That's fun. Hey, you can't just sign out now. All right. So Golden State, 250 plus assists. Did Baron Davis ever hit that?
I'm sure he got both points or assists. I would believe. Yeah.
Good grab. 1,500.
Karolinko might have got 1,500 since we're bringing up that team.
Karolinko wasn't on the Warriors.
Oh, wasn't he on the team?
Karolinko? That's the Jazz player.
Who was the big dude on the Warriors during
Biedrins.
that?
Biedrins? Is that what you're thinking of?
Crazy. I could have swore he was Andre.
Yeah, Andres Biedrins was the big man for a while on that.
He dumped on Karolinko. The big dude, yeah, it was okay. It was Biedrins. My bad.
1,500 plus points. I mean, there's a lot of guys you could do for that. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Who would be like a funny one? Maybe
Jordan Poole.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Played in the 80s.
I've been seeing some nasty box scores from him recently too. He hasn't been getting talked about because they've been horrible.
On fantasy, it's been bad.
Oh, he's on your team?
Yeah. Or I don't know if he's on my team for our league, but when my leagues, I have him. He's been doing nothing. So yeah, it's been a mess. Warriors in the 80s.
Was like Mitch Richmond? Was that a Warriors player?
That sounds right to my head. We'll go with that.
See what his years were.
88. You're cheating.
Was I cheating?
You said I was cheating with 89.
Hey, you would not have pulled Mitch Richmond. Come on now.
All right. So Nets, 250 assists. Who's a deep dive name? Did D'Lo get 250?
Alpha said Stephon Marbury.
He did. We will check that as well. D'Lo got 250 for the Nets. We could check for points.
Had to sneak D'Lo in there. Nets,
of course. Stephon Marbury, there you go. He got the 1,500 points. We'll take that. Dang. And then play in the 80s. Can we stay under 50 for where you score? In the 80s.
New Jersey Nets.
Who was next to Dr. J? This was Dr. J, and then I'm trying to think of winning time. Like, huh? Oh yeah, that was Philly.
Nets, New Jersey Nets.
Wait, no, it wasn't. Dr. J was Nets.
Is it both?
Nets.
That's what I'm saying. Was it both?
I guess it was both.
Uh,
But who played with him?
I honestly don't know a whole lot of old Nets teams.
I was trying to think wing time. Like who I remember on his team with Dr. J. It was only Dr. J they talked about on that Nets squad.
I was saying it was Philly in the show. Like, because wasn't he on the Sixers for the longest?
Oh, on the show he was on. Yeah, that's what you're talking
Yeah.
about. On the show he was on there. Yes, because there was also Moses Malone and he was on Philly.
Because the majority of his career was with Philly. That was 12 years.
All right. Nets had players in the 80s. Yeah, I don't know, Alpha. You got help. Go to Google real quick.
Yeah, Nets in the 80s. Is there anyone cheap like Vlade that like played in '89 with like those 2000s teams? You know. Nets had players. I'm trying to think like who could have been like an old vet on those like Jason Kidd teams, you know.
He said Rick Carlisle. I'm gonna take it.
I don't know.
Who did random?
Did you try it?
Who did Phil Jackson play for?
Ooh, the Knicks, I think.
The Knicks. Oh, okay. And then who did Mark Jackson play for?
The Pacers. And the Knicks.
And then, because coaches helped my head. Jason Kidd was not that far back.
What's his name? Who did like Scott Skiles like play for?
Scott Skiles. Mo Cheeks. Did Mo Cheeks play in the 80s?
Maybe. I mean, you can see the years when you type the name.
Maurice Cheek. 78.
I don't know if he played the Nets.
Hey, there we go. You're calling a lot of my work too, Alpha. I want to try to see if I can think of somebody in that work. Yeah. So we'll take it either way. Definitely good stuff there. You're hungry. I'm hungry.
Phil Jackson played for the Nets in 1980.
So that way it worked too. So I was on the right path. We worked it out. So great stuff there. We'll be back at the end of the week to talk about All-Star Weekend, get more to the NBA side of things with Lakers and Clippers and USC basketball and all that kind of stuff. Excited to get to it. I earned that one, definitely. I appreciate that, Alpha. Thanks for sticking around all episode. Share love on Twitch and all of that. And let folks subscribe and let everybody know what we got going on here. A lot of good stuff. We'll be active on there. Clips coming to you guys on LA Sports Report the rest of the week from what you guys just saw. I'm excited to continue to build this thing up as things go along. Any closing words from you, Alec?
Nah, man. We out of here.
Another good episode on the books. Appreciate y'all, man. Good stuff here. Keep showing love as you guys do. And we see you guys again on Thursday night. So out of here for the day. Appreciate you, Alpha, and always, guys. Great work, as you said there. Salute to you. And we'll see you guys again real soon, man. I'm about to go eat. See y'all.
Yep.
Peace.
Deuces.